In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. We're excited to welcome all of you to Azad Trusts. We broadcast legal and social awareness through Park Law Guide and support souls. Before we dive into our exciting new topic today, I want to remind you to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to click that bell icon. So, without further ado, let's jump right into today's exciting topic. Shia Law of Inheritance. Synopsis. This research delves into the Shia law of inheritance, exploring its foundation in Quranic principles and its application within Shia jurisprudence. Shias are a sect of Muslims and succession of their property is governed by Muslim personal, Sharia, law as applicable to Shias in Pakistan. This legal framework is rooted in the Quran, Hadith, and scholarly interpretations specific to the Shia sect of Islam. Introduction. Shiites make up between 10 to 15% of the Muslim world. Most Shiites are found in Iraq, Iran, and Lebanon. However, there are communities of Shiites throughout the world. The Shia sect originated a few decades after the death of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The Sunnis and the Shia are spread all over world. Both have law of inheritance as major integral part, but there is slight difference in the procedure. Explanation. Classification of heirs. Shia law divides the heirs on two grounds. Heirs by consanguinity, nasab, that is blood relationship. Heirs by consanguinity are divided into three classes and each class is subdivided into two sections. I. Class I. A. Parents. B. Children and other lineal descendants how low soever. 2. Class 2. A. Grandparents, true or false, how high soever. B. Brothers and sisters and their descendants how low soever. 3. Class 3. A. Paternal and B. Maternal uncles and aunts of the deceased, and of his parents and grandparents how high soever, and their descendants how low soever. Class I excludes Class 2 and Class 2 excludes Class 3. But the heirs of different sections within a class inherit together and do not exclude each other. However, the nearer degree in each section excludes the more remote in that section. 1. Heir by special cause, sabab, which is heir by marriage, husband and wife. The heirs by special cause may be divided into two kinds. I. Heir by marriage, Georgette, that is husband and wife. 2. Heir by special relationship. The heirs by special, legal, relationship are not recognized in Pakistan. However, originally, they were such persons who acquired the right of inheritance by virtue of spiritual headship or delicts committed by the deceased or emancipation. Order of succession. The heirs will inherit the heritable property of a person in the following order. 1. Among the heirs by consanguinity, the first group excludes the second and the second excludes the third. That is to say, in the presence of an heir of the first group, the heirs of the second or third group will not be entitled to share or so on. 2. As we have noticed, each of the groups is divided into two sections. Now, among these two sections of the heirs of each group, the claimants succeed together. That is, if there are heirs of both the sections, they will succeed together. 3. In each section there can be various heirs, e.g. in section 2 of Group I, there can be a son and son's son. The question arises as to who will then inherit. The rule in this regard is that the nearer in degree in each section will exclude the more remote in that section. 4. The decision is per stripes i.e. in each of these three groups of heirs by consanguinity, the descendants get per stripes or according to the branch. 5. The husband or wife is never excluded from the inheritance, but inherit together with the nearest heir by consanguinity. Allotment of shares. After determining the people who are entitled to succeed to the property of the deceased in accordance with the rules, the next problem that comes up for a solution is allotment of shares, i.e., which heir will get what amount of shares. For the purpose of determining the shares, the heirs are divided into two classes, viz. Sharers and residuary. There is no class of distant kindred under Shia law. Residuary. The heirs who are not sharers are residuary, they are not entitled to any fixed share in the property. They get the residue, what is left. The descendants, how low soever of residuary, are also residuary. There are total of 9 sharers under Shia law. Of these sharers, 4 inherit sometimes as sharers and sometimes as residuary. These are 1 father, 2 daughter, 3 full sister, 4 consanguine sister. The descendants of a person who, if living, would have taken as a sharer, succeed as sharers. The descendants of a person who, if living, would have taken as residuary, succeed as residuary. Distribution among heirs of the first class. The heirs of the first class are entitled to succeed to the property of a deceased Shia Muslim along with the husband or wife, if any. First, the share is allotted to the spouse, husband or wife as the case may be, and then to the rest of the heirs. Example 1. When no lineal descendant is present. A. Husband will inherit a half as sharer when there is no lineal descendant. B. Mother will inherit 1/3 as sharer when there is no lineal descendant. C. Father will inherit 1/6 as residuary as when there is no lineal descendant. 2. When lineal descendant is present. A. Father will inherit 1/6 as sharer when lineal descendant is present. B. Mother will inherit 1/6 as sharer when lineal descendant is present. C. Son will inherit 2/3 as residuary. Distribution among heirs of the second class. Heir in the line of paternal side get double share with maternal relations. If there is only one grandparent in the maternal line, he or she would get 2/3. Similarly, if there is only grandparent in the maternal line, he or she would get 1/3. A. Father's father would get 2/3 as sharer. B. Mother's mother would get 1/3 as sharer. Distribution among heirs of the third class. First of all, the surviving spouse is allotted his share and then the residue is divided among the following relations in order or property. A. Paternal and maternal uncles and aunt of the deceased. B. Their descendants the nearer excluding the remoter. C. Paternal and maternal uncles and aunts of the parents on the descendants and D. Their descendants are the nearer excluding the remoter. E. Paternal and maternal uncles and aunts of the grandparents. F. Their descendants how low soever, the nearer excluding the remoter. G. Remoter uncles and aunts and their descendants in like order. Of the above groups, each in turn must be exhausted before any member of the next group can succeed. Difference between Sunni and Shia law of inheritance. Differences are so deep-rooted that it is near impossible to breach them. Sunni law, Shia law. According to Sunni law, legal heirs are divided in 3 classes, i.e. the sharers, the residuaries and the distant kindred. While Shia law recognize only 2 classes, the sharers and residuaries, and there is no concept of distant kindred on Shia law. While 12 main sharers in Sunni law, there are 9 sharers in Shia law. While Sunni law does not differentiate between movable and immovable property, widow is entitled to have share from the both. In Shia law, childless widow is not entitled for immovable property, though she has right to her prescribed share from her deceased husband movable assets. The doctrine of primogeniture is not recognized. The doctrine of primogeniture is recognized, i.e., the eldest son gets the deceased father's garment, the signet ring, the sword and the Quran. Similarities. There are some similarities between Shia and Sunni law of inheritance. Both laws are derived from the Quranic verses. As Sunni law recognized 12 sharers, out of which Shia law recognized 9 sharers, the agreed upon sharers are husband, wife, father, mother, daughter, full sister, consanguine sister, uterine sister, and uterine brother. These legal traditions differ with each other on three persons' status as sharers, son's daughter, true grandfather, and true grandmother. Shia interpretation and application. Shia jurisprudence places emphasis on the concept of ilm al-faraidi, science of inheritance, which dictates precise calculations and distributions of inheritance shares. Key principles include precedence. Certain heirs may take precedence over others depending on their relationship to the deceased. Entitlement, ensuring each heir's entitlement is accurately calculated and distributed according to the deceased's estate. Vasya, bequests provisions allow the deceased to allocate a portion of their estate to specific beneficiaries beyond the obligatory heirs. Unique aspects of Shia inheritance law. Shia law differs from Sunni interpretations in several respects, such as the treatment of inheritance for orphaned grandchildren and the methodology for calculating shares in complex family structures. The Shia approach often results in different allocations than those found in Sunni jurisprudence, reflecting distinct scholarly methodologies and interpretations. Conclusion. In conclusion, the Shia law of inheritance is intricately tied to Quranic verses and Shia jurisprudential principles aimed at ensuring equitable distribution of wealth among heirs. While sharing common foundational principles with Sunni counterparts, Shia laws exhibit unique interpretations and applications that cater to their theological and legal traditions. In short, estate divide into up generation and down generation. Shia's law of inheritance divide inheritance in both sharers and residuary. If complete inheritance will be divided in first class of heirs, then it excludes the share of second and third class. If only one heir present, then share give to him or her according to their share, and rest of all property is given to Baitul Mal. But in exceptional case, if heir is son of deceased, then he will be entitled for complete property. The laws are not completely codified, but they are a result of customs and practices that have been followed over centuries in the Islamic community all around the world. References: Quran, Surah An-Nisa, Chapter 4, verses 11 to 12. The Islamic Law of Inheritance by Hamid Khan. D. F. Mullah, Principles of Mohammedan Law. Inheritance under Shia Law, Principles and its Analysis by Gurneet Singh Buddhiraja, Christ University, Bangalore, Volume 2, Issue I. So, dear fellows, that wraps up our discussion on today's topic. We hope you found it informative and helpful. Remember, your support means the world to us, and we promise to continue providing you with comprehensive legal guidance in our future videos. Remember us in your prayers for success and prosperity on this journey. Thank you for being a part of our community. Allah Hafiz. Pakistan Jindabad.